and welcome. This is going to be a series about what you probably shouldn't do when you're building a garage. It's a bit of a laugh, it's a bit of a mess. Hope you stick with me through it. So in the beginning, my plan was I needed a garage. That's basically where I started. And this was one of my problems. I didn't do enough planning. I recommend if anyone does this to spend a lot more time than I did in the planning stage. First thing was I needed to figure out where the hell I was going to put this thing, and that turned into be one of the biggest problems I had the entire time because my property's not quite big enough for this, and anywhere there was good room was way too low. So I deliberated about that for over 2 years until finally a buddy of mine pointed out that there's really only one place I can put it, next to the house. Otherwise, I wouldn't have so much of a shop or a garage, I'd have a enclosed pond. Unfortunately, my shed was there, so the first thing was to clear out the shed and get that moved. While I was cleaning out the shed, I had lots of time to think, and one of the biggest ones on my mind was, what size am I going to go? In my mind, I wanted 100 by 100 so I could fit whatever I want in there, and even then it would be too small. But realistically, I had to keep it in proportions with the house and everything, so I settled on 24 by 36. It's big enough to be an oversized 3-car, small enough to build by myself-ish, and I probably won't complain incessantly for at least a year after it's built. Then the next thing that had to be dealt with was, how am I going to build it? Is it going to be a pole barn? Is it going to be stick build? Some people do concrete block around here because they're crazy people. I did some looking and some research, and a pole barn would have been easier in a lot of ways, harder in other ways. But I ended up going with a stick build. It was going to cost me more, and I was going to go with a full foundation because my buddy Jay pointed out that I live in a swamp and a floating pad just would not work unless I wanted cracked concrete that turns into gravel and I never have a useful shop. With all that decided, it was time to go find an architect to draw this up. Now, me being the cheap prick that I am, I didn't want to go with the guys in town because they cost too much, and I didn't want to go with the guys in the city because they cost even more. So I found this guy online, and he drew up my drawings and did a pretty good job. There was a couple of issues with him, going on a random vacation and not telling anyone, so my drawings got delayed by almost a month. That kinda sets you up for how this project went. It is just one delay after another. When it came time to move the shed, things went surprisingly well. Too well. Way too well. It was way too easy. I spent the rest of this day hooking up electricity back to the shed so at least I could run my lathe and still continue on while I was waiting for things to get finalized with the garage build. I was waiting on a locate to come in, and then I could call my buddy and he would bring the excavator over and we'd start digging holes. The locate showed up. I've had locates on this property before. I found my hydro line, I found someone else's gas line, but this time I found my actual gas line. This scared the hell out of me. I dug a trench over this 4 years ago, not even knowing it was there, and I did have a locate done. They missed it. Now, there is a gas line going right through where my garage is supposed to be. So, stop the presses, call the friends, tell everyone everything's on hold, cancel the concrete, cancel the excavator. What a royal pain in the ass this was. So there was only one thing I could do. Let's move a gas line! Yay! My favorite thing. Just what I wanted to be doing with my life right now. But anyways, that's besides the point. I called up Union Gas. They said if I dig the trench and find the gas line, they'll cut me a deal and only charge me $580. Which, all things considered, I didn't think was actually all that bad. So, my neighbor's gas line runs clear across my front lawn, 3 feet away from the front of my house. In the previous locates I had, this is the gas line that I seriously thought my house was connected to, and so did the guys doing the locate. I don't know why my house wasn't connected to this in the first place. They ran an entirely separate natural gas line from the road all the way in, right under my driveway, which is slightly annoying. Union Gas is going to tee into this gas line as it should have been done in the first place. I'm not allowed to show them on camera due to many legal reasons, but here's me digging a hole. While I was digging this hole, my permit came in, so at least that was one step in the right direction.
This is stupid. I think this is enough for tonight. Back to digging.
One of the other things I started working on at this point was my purchase list, and that turned out to be invaluable later on. That is finally a gas line. 2 meters down. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Next video is going to be the excavation and the actual beginning of something. And remember, if your idea survives a hangover, it's not a shitty idea.